your Storm Track weather with meteorologist Christina Reese.
Good evening, Northeast Kansas. Thanks for joining us here on KSNT News. It's been quiet the last couple of days. Even this evening, things take a notable turn for tomorrow, and we've been alluding to this potential winter storm on the way, and it is not going to pan out nicely. In fact, starting tomorrow morning, our northern areas, all of those counties you see highlighted in that red pinkish color, will go under a blizzard warning until 6 o'clock in the evening. Now for the counties under that purple shade, that is for a winter weather advisory. That will also begin early tomorrow morning and set to expire at 6 p.m. The difference is, yes, those under the winter weather advisory could still see whiteout conditions at times, but to be classified as a blizzard, you need 3 consecutive hours of visibility under 1/4 of a mile and winds at least 35 miles per hour and above. So those areas have the best shot of meeting that criteria. But right now, satellite and radar, all we've seen so far is just some passing clouds here and there, especially for our northern areas. This is actually ahead of that winter storm that is already churning, especially pushing off of the Rockies. Where you see this dip and that blue contour line right there is the system itself developing. Already has rain and snow ahead of it, but this will actually continue to push to the east, southeast, and organize better over us. It will really kind of come together. That brings really high winds with it as well. So that is the other factor in the forecast. But let's break this down for you hour by hour with Future Track. The rest of your evening across the board, we are quiet. The clouds will continue to increase. Once we get past midnight, that is when the leading rain chance starts to move in. We got into the 50s and 60s today. It takes some time for temperatures to cool down, but when they do, they cool down quickly. So again, past midnight, a few spotty showers will start to originally move in for our northwestern areas. Once we get between 3, 5 o'clock in the morning, northern and northwestern areas will see a quick changeover from rain to snow. Notice there's not much of that pink line there, so there's not much of a threat of sleet and freezing rain. Once that cold air filters in, it quickly changes everything over to snow. Between 6 and 8 a.m., notice how far this starts to spread to the east and southeast, now getting into places like Topeka, Wamego, Pottawatomie County, the Little Apple. So spreading further across the board. Still for our extreme southeastern areas, even by daybreak, you're still holding out to the chance of some cold raindrops. But everyone will pretty much see this transition over to snow. The peak intensity will be during the morning if you have to travel tomorrow, and it is strongly discouraged at this point. Do not do it during the morning. We are talking incredibly low visibility. Hanging into the early afternoon, still some snow showers for the eastern half of the region primarily, and this starts to push its way off into Missouri and southern Iowa as we head into the evening. Now, in terms of snowfall totals, this is what we're looking at, and this is what we've adjusted. Northern areas will be the ones under the bullseye, 4 to 7 inches, but this will be the prime spot to possibly see some locally higher amounts. The amounts gradually kind of taper off the further south you are, because the system will struggle to make it this far south to dump that much snow. But don't get too fixated on these numbers, because the snow will be blowing. It is not going to settle nicely as a flat measurement. That makes it difficult for us. The main takeaway is that visibility will be low, especially during the morning. But right now we are nice and quiet, 53 in the capital city. But because we are still so warm, 40s and 50s across the board, it still takes some time for temperatures to start to crash a little bit more. We have an east wind right now. This is the other key factor with tomorrow's forecast, is just how high the winds get. This is Future Track wind gusts. Mid-morning, we are talking 40 to 45, if not 50 mile per hour wind gusts. It doesn't take much snow to bring down the visibility very dangerously low with this type of wind, and it really doesn't taper off that much during the afternoon. 20 to 35 mile per hour wind gusts, and that will also make it feel drastically colder out there as well. So if you're someone that likes to get a head start on kind of shoveling some snow, you're going to have to wait until later in the day. It will just keep blowing around across the board. 30s will feel like teens through much of the day before we dry out come Monday.